My spacecraft glides over the Shinjuku district of eastern Tokyo as I swivel giddily in my captain's chair with all the blinking, labelless buttons on the left armrest. Looking out the window, which circles the entire ship, I see the blinking lights, sleek skyscrapers, packed commuter trains, and tiny inhabitants hustling and bustling along sidewalks, across bridges, and into and out of the giant beating heart of Shinjuku Station. My craft touches down slowly and alights on top of the Takashimaya Times Square building, which looks like a giant luxury cruise liner. I rise from my seat, remove my goggles, and prepare myself to be beamed directly into the thick of the madness spread out below me. I set the transporter to Tower Records, Shinjuku, and seconds later, here I am. Actually, no, I take a plane and then a train and then walk for a bit and then sleep for 17 hours and then start work and finally get a day off after 2 goddamn weeks. The giant Tower Records television screen just outside the south end of Shinjuku Station plays a pop video featuring a gaggle of preteen girls dressed in shiny, frilly outfits so bright and cutesy they make American Child beauty pageant contestants look like Dickensian street urchins. They dance in formation, not particularly well, and stare at the camera, doe-eyed and hollow. I stand at the bottom of a massive escalator looking up at the dangerous display of chiffon and taffeta and excitedly contemplate the pastel-tinted nightmares I will have about all this later. I'm wandering around the city for the first time, enjoying my first day off. I interviewed with a popular language school called MOBA, before coming, and they assured me they could place me in Tokyo. An empty promise, it turns out, since I've ended up with an apartment in a town called Fujisawa, an hour south of Tokyo, and a job at a school in nearby Yokohama. A disappointment, yes, like a young small-town Russian with stars in his eyes must feel when he has his heart set on living in the Big Apple and instead is forced to rent a studio in New Brunswick, New Jersey. But I'll make it to Tokyo. No problem. All I need is thousands and thousands of dollars so I can afford to put a deposit and key money down on a fashionable closet or cubbyhole in, say, trendy Shibuya, or perhaps the East Village-like districts of Kichijioji or Koenji. It'll happen. I'll just need to teach a few hundred more English lessons, sell my used diabetes syringes and Piazzadora records on eBay, and limber up for those lap dances. I'll be there in no time. In the meanwhile, I'll continue my job in Yokohama, where I'm honing my communication skills and preparing myself for a career in front of the camera in ways I never anticipated. I have taught so many lessons that I've begun dropping all articles, prepositions, and sometimes the verb to be from my speech just to be more easily understood. On weekend, went to movie and ate nice restaurant. Food so delicious. I've also started pointing to my ears when I talk about listening to music, behind me when talking about the past, and in front of me and over a little hill when talking about the future. Even when talking to my 2 Australian roommates, Ewan and Sean. MOBA is a popular language school with branches all across Japan. I'd had to fly to Boston for the interview, and though I usually choke during interviews, this one ended, amazingly, with an immediate job offer. Admittedly, it's satisfying to know that simply by virtue of being born in the right place, I have a skill very much in demand in another part of the world. I never really considered my English degree very marketable, and neither has anyone else. College papers touting Jane Austen as England's best Harlequin romance novelist or exploring the homoeroticism in Bleak House won't get you very far in the real world, let's face it. But when I decided to travel to a faraway land of people who want to know how to speak like me, I automatically had a highly marketable skill. I speak great English. Jim, the interviewer and a former MOBA teacher, was clearly dazzled. In fact, he'd seemed to have only one concern. Now, Mr. Anderson, do you think that as a full-time teacher, you can deal with being asked day in and day out questions like what your hobbies are, why you came to Japan, if you can use chopsticks, if you speak Japanese, if you like sushi, what your favorite movie is, what kind of music you like, what time you usually wake up, how often you eat out, and what your plans are for the weekend?